there is no seed for sugarcane. So seed sowing is out. Layering is when you take a part of a plant, the stem of a plant that is flexible. Let's say an orange plant. You take a stem of it and you bend it. The stem must have a bud, as is a new part that is growing out. So you bend it. This is the parent plant is standing. You take a stem from the parent plant, you bend it to reach the soil. Then you put sand on that part that is touching the soil. You cover it and start watering it. After some time, that part will germinate. It will take roots down and start germinating. So once that happens, you can now cut off the other plant. Then you have a new orange plant in another place. That is what layering is about, and you can't do that for sugarcane. The third one is grafting. Grafting is when you cut a part. Let's say you have a good orange plant, you like it so well, so you want it to produce in another plant. You have another orange plant somewhere, but you don't really like that. You want to change it. So you take a part of from the first orange plant, the upper part, that's called the scion. You cut a part, then you go to the other plants, you cut off the head of that one, you take it away. So you now bring the scion, then with the remaining part that is containing the root, that one is called the stalk. You bring the scion to the stalk, then you bind it, you tie it together, then you put cellophane paper to cover it for some time. Then you keep watering it. After a while, they will glue together kind of, and you start germinating. That is called grafting. Then the third one is stem. The last option there is stem cutting. When you take the stem of a particular plant, you cut it and go and plant in another place, like you do for cassava. You also do it for sugarcane, and that is the answer. D, stem cutting is the best method for propagating sugarcane. The next question says, in mammalian males, the excretory and reproductive system share the A, urethra, B, vas deferens, C, urethra, D, testis. We have dealt with this question under excretory system, but since reproduction is still part of it, that's why I'm bringing it up again. Urethra is the tube that is coming from the kidney, carrying urine and some waste product to the bladder. That's what urethra is. So, and it doesn't have anything to do with reproduction. That rules out that option. Then B is the vas deferens. Vas deferens is the sperm duct where you find sperm being produced. It does not have anything to do with excretion. So that also is out, because it's saying in mammalian males, the excretory and reproductive system share the. So option A and B is ruled out. Option C says urethra. Urethra is the passage of urine to the external in the male. The duct where the urine comes out from. When you see a boy urinating, the urethra is the one releasing the urine that you can see outside. That's excretion. Then the urethra also in an adult male is the passage of sperm during mating. So it's performing both excretory function and reproductive function. That gives us the answer, option C. Urethra is the passage for urine and then sperm in mammalian males. So that gives us the answer, option C. Option D says testis. No, testis is just reproductive, is a reproductive organ. So option C is urethra, which is our answer. The next question says, an example of a caryopsis is A, guava, B, maize grain, C, coconut, D, tomato. Maize grain is the answer, as an example of caryopsis. Coconut is a drupe, tomato is a berry. So just know it like a formula. Maize grain is an example of caryopsis. That's option B. The next question says, the most important hormone that induces the ripening of fruit is the A, ethylene, B, indole acetic acid, C. gibberellin, D. cytokinin. The hormone that induces ripening of fruit majorly is ethylene. Indole acetic acid, growth hormone. So ethylene is the answer, option A. Ethylene, when you hear ethylene, just cast your mind to ripening of fruit. That's what ethylene does. The next question. The type of reproduction that leads to variation in animal and plant population is A. body, B. sexual reproduction, C. vegetative, D. asexual. Budding is when you take the bud of a plant and you put plant in another place, or you put it in another plant and start growing. That's budding. Now, reproduction is divided broadly into two parts: sexual and asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction involves two parents, a male and a female parent. But asexual reproduction involves a single parent, and that's why it can be vegetative, it can be anything. So sexual reproduction is the one that brings about the variation in both plant and animal population because two different individuals are involved. So when individual A is bringing this particular gene, individual B is bringing another one, which is different. By the time they will have an offspring, the offspring will be different. It will not be A and it will not be B. It will be C, an entirely different organism from the two of them. And that is what leads to variation. Your mother and your father, they were different individuals. Now, when they look at you, say, oh, your nose is like your dad's nose, your face is like your mom's face, something like that. You are entirely different from the two of them. You are not carrying all of your dad, neither are you carrying all of your mom. That is what sexual reproduction is about. That's what that one I know you easily get that. Sexual reproduction, two different parents, so the organism or the offspring they are producing will be different. It will not be A, it will be neither A nor B. But when it is asexual, it's a single parent. So it's what the single parent donates that is just like that, like what you have in the individual parents, what is given to the offspring. So that's the answer is option B. Sexual reproduction is the type of reproduction that leads to variation in both animal and plant population. The next question. The type of reproduction that is common to both hydra and yeast is A. conjugation, B. binary fusion, C. grafting, D. budding. Spirogyra undergoes conjugation sometimes. Binary fusion, bacteria can undergo that. But grafting is common in plants. Like I explained that you cut a part of a plant, you go and put it in another plant, that's grafting, and you tie it. Budding is what is common to both hydra and yeast. That is option D, budding. The next question says, the eggs of birds contain relatively larger quantities of yolk than those of amphibians and reptiles because A. birds are generally bigger in size, B. embryonic development is longer in birds, C. those of birds are fertilized internally, D. birds lay shelled eggs. Not all birds are bigger than reptiles and amphibians. There are amphibians that are far bigger than birds. So option A is no. B. embryonic development is longer in birds. Yes. C. those of birds are fertilized internally. Even in reptiles, internal fertilization do occur. Then option D. birds lay shelled egg. Even they too, they lay shelled egg. So the answer is embryonic development is longer in birds. Embryonic development is longer in birds. In the male reproductive system of mammal, sperm is stored in the A. vas deferens, B. urethra, C. epididymis, D. seminiferous tubules. Where is sperm stored? A says vas deferens. Vas deferens is the sperm duct where it is produced. B says urethra. Urethra is a passage of sperm during ejaculation. So that is not where it is stored. C says epididymis. That is where it is stored. Epididymitis is where it's stored. Then D says seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubule is the coiled tubules in which sperm are produced. So it's not seminiferous tubule, it's not urethra, and it's not vas deferens. The answer is epididymitis, epididymis, which is where sperm is stored. The next question says the barrier between maternal and fetal blood is the A, placenta, B, liver, C, umbilical cord, D, the uterine wall. Question is asking between the mother and the fetus, what is the barrier? What stands between their blood, that their blood don't mix? The umbilical cord is what connects the mother to the baby, to the fetus. Right? That's what takes care of reproduction. No, what takes care of excretion, removal of waste, respiration, and all that. That's a connecting to between the mother and the baby and the fetus. So when the baby is born, that is called, maybe you have seen a baby, a newly born baby, that maybe after a week or so, the umbilical cord is still there before it will be finally cut off. That's what joins the mother to the baby. But that's not the barrier. The barrier is the placenta. The placenta is the one that is the barrier between the maternal and fetal blood. That's A. Then the next question says, in the mammalian male reproductive system, the part that serves as a passage for urine and semen is the urethra, B, urethra, C,